Mr. Boo.
Hey, what is up, my YouTube viewers and subscribers? It is I, Mr. Boo, the Entertainment Guru, your Mr. Boo Entertainment Guru, right here on YouTube. Let's get the thing out of the way. Like, subscribe, ring a notification bell if you want to, and let's get right on into this. See, I was out and about today, this morning, and I had to stop and sit here and think about something that I read yesterday. And I really shouldn't be making another video on this stuff, like video games and the two sides of everything nowadays, woke and fake woke, or woke and anti-woke. Okay, this has to stop, because I made a video on Assassin's Creed Shadows when it was, announced and they were showing things about it. And I covered the controversy of, like, people not liking that there was an African American in there. And it went so far beyond, like, just the fact that he was an African American and he was one of the playable characters, that they started then being like, well, he was never really a samurai and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I don't care. Ben Franklin never talked to an assassin. George Washington never became a king. Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo da Vinci, his flying machine didn't help a man named Ezio, and there weren't these beings in the time before gods. And then also you got to think about the gods and King Leonidas and all that, and the staff that kept the lady from Odyssey alive. Or, well, if you played the male or the female, which brings me back around to the fact that you can play either one. They're not going to force you to be Yasuke. You can play the actual Japanese lady. And then it came down after all the racial things and all the, he was never this, never that. Then it came out that you could love who you want to love. And that made people mad, because God forbid that you could have her love a woman and him love a man. It has to fit in what they want, and they're not allowed to be inclusive and diverse and blah, 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 blah. It's a game. If you don't want to play it, don't play it. It's fantasy. It's not real. It is a sci-fi fantasy action video game that tells a good story pretty much 90% of the time, depending on what, who's writing it and who's behind it and everything. But now I'm back with Wukong Black Myth, and this really, as I was scrolling through my feed, it came across my Facebook, and I'm just like, okay, it's got good ratings. But then I read that there are some rumors or news or what have you floating around that Gamescom, I guess, and like I think another couple places or whatever, have taken away from the score of the game, from their rating, which is a highly rated game, really good game, being compared to be as good as like Dark Souls and the new one Dark Souls put out. Comment down below. Elder Ring. Haha, now you don't have to comment down below. But basically, I read that it's not diverse enough and it's not inclusive enough. And I've seen the trailer for the game. I haven't played the game. I haven't seen much since like the first few trailers. But I know the main character is a monkey man. So he's a monkey. And most of the people in the game, I guess, are mammal creatures, because it is a Chinese myth. This game is based off a Chinese myth. Again, fantasy, myth, fable, story, something in their heritage that they took and they made into a game. A game. It's not like a documentary. It's not meant to be real. You're not really learning about a monkey man who existed. But I kept reading comments, and I had to agree with some of them on Facebook, because some of the people that were like, kind of like shocked and appalled, like, why would they do that? Like, it was inclusive enough. It had plenty of mammals. It was diverse enough. It had plenty of mammals. And on that, like, if it's a Chinese myth, a myth, which means somebody wrote it, this is how the person back in the day wrote it. And back in the day, we weren't woke. We weren't not woke. We weren't, this is an old Chinese fable. This stuff has existed forever. Races, all different races have existed forever. Get over it. Also, everyone can love who they want to love. Get over it. But when it comes to something like a Chinese myth, something that was a story told long ago, and they're just retelling it in a video game, how are you going to come up and be like, hey, why is the monkey not gay? Why can't you, like, customize him to have rainbow fur? Or where's the diversity of, races and ethnicities? They're mammals. They're animals. How much more diverse can you get? besides, do you know who's voicing those people? Have you went in and actually like looked at the cast and read the credits and looked people up? I'm sure with as many people as it takes to make a video game and as many characters in that game probably have a voice, it's diverse enough. It's ethnic enough. And as far as inclusivity, I mean, it's way long ago China, mythical story, main character Monkey Man. I don't think that throughout this fable anyone was thinking, maybe this monkey doesn't feel like a monkey. Maybe he wants to identify as something else. Maybe he doesn't want to be male. Maybe no one was thinking that back then. The man wrote a story, he wrote a fable, he wrote a myth, and people in China grew up loving it. And it's a fable, and it's a well-known fable, and I mean, it's Chinese, so there's your diversity, there's your ethnicity. I want to spend too much time on this because I'm not picking sides. I'm not. I got attacked over the Assassin's Creed thing and also on my video of Eminem's new album, The Death of Slim Shady, people calling me woke or fake woke or anti-woke. And I don't care either way. I just... Why do things have to be an issue today? Like, I'm going to end this with something for people to take out of it, okay? Because there's too much of it going on nowadays. I mean, there's too much hate. There's too much picking sides. And I'm even saying that with the presidential campaign right now. Like, wow, are they taking shots? Like, wow, okay, wow. This year is like the year where it's like, this person did this. Oh, this person did that. This person, blah, blah. What is going on, people? Like, even our politics have gotten worse. Like, we are being so complainy and so towards each other for no reason. Like, if the game isn't something you want to play, if you don't find it diverse enough, if you don't find it inclusive enough, just go at it with your job. Go in at it as a video game critic. If you are taking stars and ratings away for that, shame on you. Shame on you, because you should just be doing your job and being right down the middle. Like a referee in an MMA match cannot just see someone take one punch and be like, oh, you're done, because he likes the other person and he doesn't like that one. You have to be right down the middle. You have to call it down the middle. Do your job. And if something, offends you or whatever, talk about it at the water cooler that day. Talk about it. Don't attack a very good game from what I've heard. Don't take things away from your score because it's not something you like. Don't play it if it's something you don't like. There's too much, and I get it, freedom of speech and standing up for each other and standing up for your rights and standing up for your inclusion and your diverseness and all of that. And that's perfectly fine, but I feel like it's making things toxic. It is. It's making things toxic, and I feel like it's hitting the video game world harder than any other world out there besides Disney. But I just gotta say, like, does it really matter at the end of the day if you're playing a really good game, and if almost all the characters are fake mythical mammal people? I mean, there's plenty of people voicing them that are diverse. There's plenty of people voicing them that go home to their husband being a man, or their wife being a woman and they're a woman. There's plenty of that going on. There's plenty of people in that group that are probably trans. It doesn't have to reflect directly in the game. It doesn't have to be that way. Nor, on the other side of it, does it have to be what you want it to be just because you don't want Yasuki in there as a playable character because, for one, you think, oh, he had nothing to do with being a samurai. Hey, again, they're writing their own fake fable, myth, fantasy story here. They're taking a real life character and doing more with him, and they have the right to do that. Hell, they made the other character up. They made her up. I don't know if that guy really had a daughter. I don't know. Comment down below if you know if the creator of the Shinobi had a daughter, but that's who she is. She's his daughter. She's completely made up, and she's Japanese. Again, it's just making gaming even more toxic than it already is. And I'm not saying companies don't do this stuff to try to boost their numbers and sell to specific people. I'm not saying that that's just good business. To them, it might not be good business to us or, anything. They just want that money. And they're going to do whatever they can to get that money. And that's not every gaming company. And I got plenty to say on the companies. I got plenty to say on unfinished games, bad DLCs, bad cash, crack cash grabs, bad play to win scenarios, and all of that. That's all something I've been building for the last year since I started YouTube. But right now, every time I get on Facebook or anything else, I see this game's not inclusive. This game doesn't have enough ethnicity. This game doesn't have either or this game's great because it does, but then you've got people saying, well, I don't know, main character's a woman, main character's a lesbian, I don't like that, main character this or that, or hey, that one side character that was in there for 10 minutes, they offended me because of some reason. Guys, don't play the game if you don't want it. Stop attacking games, and if these companies, if this is real, and they are doing something where it's like, oh God, I really don't like how this is. I wish, it had more of this, taking a star away. Oh, and for this, we'll take another half a star away. Do your job, straight down the middle. Talk about it in the review. After you've reviewed the game as a whole, as a game, like graphics, gameplay, story, etc., etc. And with that note, I just hit 11 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and go, because you all know I can rant and rave, but I'm not on either side. But comment down below if you think gaming is getting toxic, like if we are bringing a toxicity to gaming where we have to always rise up and voice our concerns and voice our opinions in ways that aren't healthy, like in ways that shouldn't be expressed. Like when we talk about games, we should be talking about the core game, the engine, the graphics, the gameplay, the story, the mechanics, all of that. Comment down below if you agree with that. Comment down below if you think, as a whole, we are getting way too toxic on everything. I get it. We're opinionated now. We always have been, and that's our freedom as Americans. But it sucks that you can't put out a product, you can't tell a joke, you can't be you without somebody hating on you for being you because they think you're hating on them for being them. And I'm Mr. Boo Entertainment Guru, and I gotta finish going here and getting some groceries and trucking it back home. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.